April 7th, 2023. Friday. Good Friday? I guess Good Friday. It was a holiday from work. Good holiday. And, nothing like a good day off from work spent working. But kind of for myself, like my own passions here. I'm effective at the office, in so much as I go to one, by virtue of things that I'm interested in on my own, for my own reasons, and these things happen to be coming together. The last really large gesture to the public as like a real, attempt to do something big was Hidtail. That was years ago now. That was one of the best new web products of 2006, according to Business Week magazine. So I didn't continue on that trail because it was work for hire, and I had subsequently moved on from that place. And I've done a few very, very tiny things in the time in between that really amounted to recalibrating myself to the new technological landscape, and not immediately recalibrating to where I'm at now. In my head, it's almost like a vibe and an emotional state in which I love my technology tools as much as I loved the Amiga computer back in the day. Yes, my friends, I am a big fan of this old 80s era, late 80s. It wasn't early 80s. It was very indicative of the late 80s. Everything that's cool about that decade, that people have nostalgia about, is somehow or other embodied in this wonderful tool, which was everything but standard and long-lived. So it went away, and so much of my technical expertise and know-how and the things I really deeply loved went away. And unfortunately, that probably hurt me emotionally and perhaps set my career back a bit. But also, fortunately, it conditioned me to think in a certain mindset. That is the Unix philosophy, the Unix way, of which you will find a fair amount of debate out there, because a bunch of different concepts have been blended together that were not all of, what is now thought of as the Unix philosophy, because, history has been rewritten from the perspective of Linux having won and attributing some things to Unix that I guess wasn't part of its original philosophy. But any, invalidating of it based on that would be splitting hairs, because what is intended by this, now free and open source philosophy, and that's where a big split occurred. The original Unix was nothing free and open source about it, even though it feels so free and open source today. It was bitterly legally entangled, and only until after Linux was on the scene from 1991 forward, and then FreeBSD, which invalidated a lot of the legal battles, did Unix and Linux really become, the epitome of the free and open source software movement. You could always get the source, but it wasn't necessarily free. So certain tools under that collectively comprise a tool chain that can apply to almost any problem in almost any problem domain in almost any decade. That's the amazing thing now. Certain things are becoming timeless, and those are the places where I'm putting my focus: Linux itself, Python, programming language, the Vim text editor, and more frequently lately, NeoVim, a newer version of Vim that supports GitHub Copilot AI pair programming, and finally Git, the distributed version control system that fills in a lot of the gaps that the first three don't actually cover out of the box. So between those 4 tools plus Honorary Jupyter, always Honorary Jupyter notebooks, usually run local, usually on a Linux virtual machine. With that, you can do a heck of a lot that will last for a heck of a long time, that can be heck of a well automated and have heck of a good kind of ad hoc exploratory environment and some power of local execution that normally is not there when using cloud notebook hosts. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Talk to you soon. Don't forget to subscribe.